to another episode of MCRC Album Wars. Today we are going to be reviewing, it's going to be another double feature. So we're going to be reviewing 4 bands. And the 4 bands will be Whitesnake versus Def Leppard and Queensryche versus Pantera. Check it out. Whitesnake is a British band known for their beautiful music video girls and their catchy tracks. The album we are reviewing today, Whitesnake, was released in 1987 and embodies those stereotypes of the band. Crying in the Rain is a really great way to start out the album, and John Sykes' guitar playing is super heavy. Closely mimics Neil Murray's sick-ass bass line. And Still of the Night is a really, really great song, and Give Me All Your Love has such a really cool breakdown in the song between the bass and Dunbar's drumming. Is This Love is their most known video and song, and it's kind of easy to see why, because each member is, and when you listen to the song, they're adding their own personality into their instrument. Each instrument's kind of contributing to the sound, making the song more special and more of, that love song that it is. Straight for the Heart has a great solo in it, and Don't Turn Away, almost like the guitar playing, sounds a lot like Is This Love, and it kind of acts like a reprise to the track, which is a reference to an earlier track. I also like the occasional acoustic guitar throughout the album. It adds another musical profile to the sound. Something to mention before we move on to Def Leppard is that David Coverdale, he has beautiful vocals. It's very strong, very emotional. It's just a powerful presence behind it. And this is something that is very important in the hard rock and metal genre, because this genre of music is very emotionally driven. And something I really liked about this album was that it remained memorable with the songs, meaning from start to end, and even the middle, I was still invested and I was still interested in what I was hearing. Unfortunately, Hysteria is seen on a lot of teenage girls' shirts.
Yeah?
Teenageros. But it's kind of sad to see, especially because it's more like they're being marketed as a brand, not a real band, and their work is artwork, and they're such a great talent, And it's just really sad to see. But you know what? Their talent isn't going to be unnoticed. Well, at least by me. Women is a hot track. And it features great guitar playing from Steve Clark and Phil Colleen. And it also, like, the beat of it really reminds me of one of my favorite shows of all time, Miami Vice. It's so quintessentially 80s. That's a big word. And it's such a great era that you just will never be able to recapture ever again. So stop trying, because you're not going to do it. Am I crazy, or does Rocket sound a lot like Adamant? Okay, I'm a little crazy, but what's that guy's name? No, Rick Allen. Okay, Rick Allen. Rick Allen's drumming sounds a lot like the Burundi drums that are used in Adamant's music, which is often closely associated with the New Romantic movement. This is a new wave genre in the early 80s England. So as you see, it's 2 different worlds, Yeah. Okay.
Act 2, Scene 4, Take 1.
This album has a lot of hot tracks on it, and very well-known ones, like Animal, Love Bites, Love Bleeds, It's Bringing Me to My Knees, and, Pour Some Sugar on Me. Okay, I'm not going to go into singing it this time, but those are hot songs, okay? And Don't Shoot Shotgun. I think I got the title right this time. Yes, I did. Okay, so It oh yeah, I like the talking in the song because like I like a lot of talking, so this song's really hot too. I have some critiques for this album. I love this album, but I still have my critiques. And one of them is, where the fuck is the fast guitar playing? You know, like I'm listening to metal, I want fast guitar. That's just what I prefer, you know? So like that, like when I listen to these songs, it's really hot. The fast guitar playing is definitely missing from them. But on a good note, Joe Elliott's vocals were really awesome. They are truly an instrument. And Rick Savage, he's a bass, right? Yeah. And his bass was really good. But it started to drag after a little, like after a little bit. Like, the album actually kind of dragged a little bit for me in general. Like, it kind of needed to be a little bit more interesting. Maybe it was the fast guitar playing that I wanted. Maybe that's what made it a little boring for me. But I do like how there were different sounds throughout the album. And it's like, you know, it was brought in from different genres, like what we mentioned with the Burundi sounding drums. And it still had, like, you know, they still had their sound, you know, but they were still able to have interesting and bring in different things to it. Queensryche's Empire was released in 1990 and features hits like Jet City Woman and Silent Lucidity. Now, this kind of like Seattle kind of metal that's almost like symphony like, it's not really my thing. I'm not really into that. I'm kind of like, you know me, you guys know me enough now to know that I am an LA glam metal gal, and it just wasn't really my style. So, you know, let's see what I have to say about this album. Let me start off by saying that the lead vocalist Jeff Tate has some beautiful pipes. He almost sounds like a cast member of Phantom of the Opera, which is impressive. What song am I talking about? I like Jet City Woman, and Della Brown has a great breakdown between the bass and the guitar. Empire featured great speaking parts that I really enjoyed, and Anybody Listening is a great song. And the bass playing of Eddie Jackson is really, really good, very heavy, very epic. But, like, going back to them being, like, the symphony kind of group, it's almost like Fraser Crane decided to start a metal group. And it's like, these are, like, a really talented group of guys. But it's, like, too controlled. Because it's like an orchestra. Like, even when you hear it and, like, listening to the sounds and the music, it's very, like, that. It's vibrato, or whatever that word is. I do like the overall dream effect of DeGarmo and Wilton's guitar playing, but everything is still stiff. Like, this is a stiff-ass album, man.
Act 3, Scene 1, Take 1.
I knew I wouldn't like Pantera, and I kind of hate when I'm proven right. What happened here is the exact opposite of what happened with Negative. The Cowboys from Hell was released in 1990, and geez, it was really, really hard to sit through. It was hard to finish, to be honest. I contemplated getting up and turning that shit off, but I have to remain professional to some certain point. But it's like with the whole band, they're focusing too much on being heavy and what they think metal is about, and they're not really focusing on the music as much. I hate that. It was also a trend in metal starting in the 90s where, you know, people wanted to just sound heavy and not focus on the music. And it didn't help that this band didn't sound very cohesive together as a band. It's almost like what we talked about with Guns N' Roses, but more severe. I guess because these guys just aren't talented at all. They don't really have any talent, to be honest. And I just didn't like it. And besides a few good bass lines and a couple effects, like in Shattered, they did the shattering glass effect, which was cool. But this album just wasn't it for me. This band's not it for me, and I'm never listening to them ever again. So the results are in, and the people chose Def Leppard, and for the second round, people chose Queensryche. And we also chose those two options as well, so fun. And tune in for our next episode. It will be our last double feature, and we're actually coming really close to the end of the season. So thanks for sticking around, guys, and I hope to see you guys next week.